engineer is the guy that's responsible for availability. He measures those outputs, availability, or I hope he gets held accountable for those things. Yeah. So, I mean, to go back to the cake analogy now, we have a situation where the engineer is capable to measure whether the cake is moist, whether it tastes good, whether it looks good, whether the texture is great. So he knows all those things. Now the cake comes there and the texture is not great. What's he going to do now? Nothing, because he doesn't understand the process. But if he understands the process and the texture is not great, he can help them go back and find out what the problem is. So yes, he absolutely has to understand it. How can you ensure something is happening if you don't understand it? How can you over-inspect if you don't know? So he has to know the standards and the procedures off by heart, so that he can walk in there and say, guys, what is going on here? This is not the way we do things around here. This is how it should be done. How did this job get to be done today?
What were the stumbling blocks that you experienced with this process?
I think you've described some of them. There's resistance to change. It's absolutely necessary that we educate up in the organization and down. People throughout the organization must believe in this thing. If you don't believe in it, don't do it. Don't do it because Cameron comes from head office and says we must do it. If you don't believe in it, tell them at head office that I don't believe in it, and don't send Cameron here because I can do this better. But if you're looking for help, then yeah, understand this thing, accept it, and believe in it and support it. Like that example I had of the general manager, that he was there regularly. He knew exactly how the whole process worked, and he was the general manager. So how can the section engineer not have time to do it if the general manager can find time to do it? Because the general manager understands this process must work so I can get availability. I get machine availability, I get tons. I meet my objectives to my superiors. But if this doesn't work, I don't get what I need either. So we all need to bake that cake the way it should be baked. And we must all understand how we bake the cake in order to help the cake being what we want it to be.
Ladies and gents, the first thing you should do for your work areas as a foreman, as an engineer, is to divide your areas or your HME into inspectable sections that can be assigned to a specific artisan. We need to be clear that that artisan will be responsible for the inspection of the work, but the actual execution of the corrective work that comes from those inspections can be assigned to anyone in the team to assist. Once your areas are assigned to specific artisans, where kiosks or a PMA is not readily accessible, however, we still need to get those defects in. A defect list can be given to every artisan. This list should accompany the artisan every time they visit that machine or their area's inspection job card. Every time an artisan goes to the field, they should take the defect list with them. At the moment, we find that many artisans, they find defects, however, they cannot log it on the system, either at the kiosk. Our contractors don't have access to SAP. This is technically the defect list then for tank farm level 1 and 0 at PMR's Boilermaker section. All of the defects that are found in that area are listed down here. A column can be added where the works order, the inspection works order on which the defect was found can be noted. The date on which the defect was noted is noted down, and the artisan who detected it can also be noted. That later on, the planner can follow up with this artisan if a job initiation form is outstanding. The planner then completes the works order number once the order has been created in SAP and initials that it is now in SAP. Every defect that we then create gets its own job initiation form. It's simply impossible for the planner to plan 50 to 60, sometimes 100 notifications every day, and this will assist the planner greatly in getting that done. Therefore, the description is exactly the same as the defect list. the parts that are required to do this job, in this instance handrails, what's the part number of the parts required, the quantity that they need, what additional labor do they require, either a fitter, electrician, boilermaker to do this work with them, how long the work will take them, because the artisan knows best how long this work should take them reasonably, and what other support equipment do they need, crane, cherry picker, etc. The artisan then signs for the job initiation, hands it to the foreman, who can then approve the notification easily on SAP to say that he confirms that this work can come off his budget, and then hands the job initiation form to the planner, who can now actually plan the works
I've got
order.
a job initiation form here. Everything has been filled accordingly. Just make sure that you get this space so that you can execute this job.
Okay, good. The GRP grating is not a stock item.
Okay?
It's a special order, but I
Yes.
will try my best.
Please, just push the supplier to assist us there.
Good. Maybe one of the other plants can also assist us.
No problem. Consider the hours as well when you plan this job.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
No
going to take
problem.
3 days. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'd like to introduce to you Drew Troyer, who's a consultant to Meshal Ruplal, Group Head of Engineering for Anglo American. Afternoon, Drew.
Hi, Cameron. It's nice to be here.
Good to speak to you. Drew, you and I have spoken extensively, and perhaps you can explain to us what benefits you see in these scheduling and planning boards for general managers, engineering managers, production managers, and drilling foremen, mining foremen.
Yeah, so Cameron, these kinds of boards enable people to communicate together, and this helps to break organizational silos down. It's natural we all get caught up in our own, busy work. If I'm in warehouse or supply chain, or if I'm in maintenance, or if I'm in production, or I'm a manager, I kind of get caught up in my own world. But a board like this helps us to understand what we're really trying to accomplish. When we look at mining, it really comes down to three things. There's the market, which we have no control over. There's, the geology, which we hope the geology is good. Everything else comes down to the assets. So boards like this help us get focused on the business of keeping the assets reliable so that we can have high levels of production, high levels of safety, high levels of environmental performance, and hopefully low cost of operation.
So I got promoted to Namdeb, which is a big diamond mine on the west coast of Namibia. It was very big. At that stage, it ran the second biggest Caterpillar fleet in the world. We introduced a thing called machine performance testing, which they had never heard of before. An excavator picks up its boom. From the bottom to the top should take so long. From the top to the bottom takes so long. If it doesn't, it simply tells you that the innards of that machine is not working to the standard that it should be working. Therefore, when it now has to do real work like dig, it's going to do that with less power and slower. So we started things like that. Our technical training needs became so much easier to identify because our failure analysis told us that we have lots of problems with failures resulting from overheating. So we did a check and found out that the artisans didn't really understand engine fuel and cooling and how to look for those kind of problems. So we trained the artisans that had to deal with that problem just on that problem. The guys who didn't have to deal with it weren't trained on it. We had 631 bowl scrapers. The steering mechanism is very complicated. We had a lot of problems with that. Same thing, test the artisans, they don't know how the thing works. Course for that. Problem fixed. Problem really fixed.
We can never move work from the in-planning or we used to call it backlog waiting board to the backlog ready board that's ready to be scheduled if the spares have not arrived. In other words, we cannot schedule work where we have not confirmed that all the resources are available. Why is that important?
Yeah, why shouldn't you schedule work that you don't have the parts for? Just like you shouldn't schedule work if you don't have space in the workshop or the artisan is going to be allocated the time and he can't execute the job. I think the biggest danger there is that you destroy the credibility of your system. The artisan will tell you the system is stupid. It schedules me to do a job, but I don't have the spare. The system is stupid. So your system now gets credibility problems. In the tea room, they're going to joke about this. This is what they're going to tell each other, how stupid the system is. And that does enormous harm. It should be the other way around.
Sometimes when things are in software or they're in email or some of the electronic mechanisms by which we communicate, it gets lost. You know, we get too much noise and it's just not in front of us. Whereas we can see right here what's important to this area. We can see it.
I'd also learned in the trackless section that operational priorities change very quickly. So you need to understand what goes on the operational side, and you need to adjust what you do to help them, because after all, that's the only reason why we have the machines. In those days, we got mining magazines and things that floated around in the post, internal mail, an advertisement for workshop planning or organizing or something like that. So I enrolled myself for the course, did this course. It was a very simple course. They basically had an example where they have a workshop with, 10 people, and you got work coming out and work going and coming back and get, from here to the machine shop and back and so on. And they used a system of cards, a job card, and then they had racks on the wall and boxes on the desk. And all you did was you moved the card to whatever the status of that job was. Somebody said, why don't we use these boards and we just make a tag? So my solution was to give them the cards. You do your planning, but you now do it with the cards. So I can come and see what's going on here. And I get a copy of your card. So in a copy of the card was my space control. If he says order something, I write it on the back of the copy. And there was one particular guy, Ziggy During. He was really hard on me, but he was good at what he did. So I began to understand that you can't just do what you want to do, which is what the maintenance department did. They would just call a machine, regardless of whatever that guy thinks. It's time to maintain this machine. Sorry for you, Mr. Mine Captain. I realized that that's not a good idea.
Also, as a reliability engineer, suppose that I get a vibration analysis report. And we've got a job that is at a low priority, but the vibration analysis report is indicating that the problem has worsened at a much more aggressive rate than we had anticipated. Now, I can come in as the reliability engineer and say, hey, we need to elevate this one. We need to make this a high priority job so that we can really get that one moved up in the priority. Another thing is if we have our artisans who are out in the field.
Yes.
And they know what machines.
They know their machines.
They know their machines. So if they see a machine that's moving around, all right, or the machine is a little bit hot or it's making an unusual noise, something sensory, he or she can come in and say, hey, we really need to look at this one. We need to get this one moving. And they don't naturally gravitate toward computer-based systems to do that kind of intervention. So this just gives you, think of this as a community meeting place that breaks down all of the silos that we have in the organization and gets us focused on what's important. Let me tell you a story. I was at Toyota in Kentucky, and I was walking around. So this is a big campus, 10,000 employees. And I was walking around with the CEO, and a light went off on the assembly line. And so, we headed over there, and there had been a stoppage. And the maintainer and the operator are working hand in hand to try to figure out what's happening. And so the maintainer is figuring out, so I need this part, and the operator's got a clipboard, and he's making notes about, what we require to fix it. And then the operator said, okay, I'm gonna go get the parts. So the operator says he's going to go run the parts. Now, it turned out he didn't do it. The CEO said, you give me that list, you keep helping him. And the CEO went and arranged the parts.
I did some work at one mine and we had this waiting for parts board where we had all the tags for all the parts that were outstanding. The agreement with the supplier was that they could deliver anything within 5 days, I think, or something like that, and in emergency within 24. So the clerk that worked there, the lady, diligently did all this, and then we still had this thing where after 5 days the parts hadn't arrived. So then she continuously had to rearrange her cards and we had to replan the jobs. So what she did is she split the board in two, and if the job went over 5 days, she put it on that side of the board. And I think the board was red or something, if I remember correctly. So on this mine, the general manager took a really interest in what was going on there. He had a perfect understanding of the workflow process and what was going on there and what the boards were for. So we walked in there one day and somebody said, we want to show you that we split this board. And he said to the clerk, this young lady, what is this? And she said, no, those are all longer than 5 days. And the supplier is supposed to supply by 5 days. So he took his cell phone out of his pocket and he phoned the CEO of the company and said, I'm standing at this board now. I have already sent you a picture of the board. Those jobs are parts are outstanding more than 5 days. You have a problem. Deal with it. And he dealt with it. Now, can you imagine what that does to the clerk?
This is a central communication point. It's tactile, it's visual. It enables people to see what is happening, what's going to happen. Consider this to be a community. It's a community. This is what allows people to come together and have discussions about that job, or do we really need to do these inspections, or can we push those off based upon various competing priorities.
So once the defect has been listed, the planner has created the job initiation has been completed, and the planner has created the works order on SAP. He creates a little tag that is then placed on either the backlog waiting board, where we're still awaiting spares, or places the card on the same lane under backlog ready.
And there's no other new defect.
When we arrange the board, we arrange oldest to newest, and on this side as well, oldest to newest. Additionally, artisans would love to see where their defects are that they have listed in the process. Have they received the spares, or are we still waiting for the spares? They can then escalate these jobs to say to the foreman, Mr. Foreman, this job, I seriously need the spares because that machine is not going to last until we get these spares. Please, can you escalate this with supply chain or with the engineer? You know, we bring everyone in, can escalate all the way to the head of supply chain. The FLM then moves to the 2-weekly scheduling board with a 2-week window, so that whilst we're busy on the 1 week executing the work, we can start populating the schedule for the following week. By a Monday, the FLM pre-populates the board with who's on leave, who's on training, who's on induction, who's on a medical, and inserts it for those people. After doing that, the scheduler can then pre-populate the board with the inspections only. The inspections that the system tells us will be coming out the following week. The basic PMO3 job card inspections. And as the scheduler already knows who the person is that's assigned to these areas, to inspect the areas, she can assign that works order to each of the foremen. We can also determine, after speaking to production, which day, whether or not there'll be a shut in the plant, or which day we may have which piece of HME to conduct maintenance on. The artisan has the discussion then with the foreman weekly about which jobs on the backlog ready board are critical for execution for the following week. They have, as we've mentioned before, insight into how badly the machine's deteriorating, they can tell the foreman, "Sir, this job, please will you schedule it for me for next week, for that day." And the foreman can then start this scheduling process from a Tuesday already to start pre-populating the board with the most critical work, as he sees it in his section, from the backlog ready board. Come a Thursday, when we have our scheduling meeting, the engineer then needs to scrutinize what work has been scheduled versus what work still remains on the backlog ready board. Is there more critical work that's on the backlog ready board that, in your view, should be scheduled? Afternoon, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for joining me for this afternoon's scheduling meeting. Amos, how's your day going?
No, my day, it's okay.
How's that diesel line going?
Yeah, we are busy with that. The guys are busy managing that.
Okay, excellent. Buta, do we have MTBF and availability for almost a section for last week?
No, we don't have it for last week, but we can prepare it for next week.
Asseblief, Buta, I'd like to see that. We want to see if the work that we're doing is preventing failures. Okay, Buta, for almost a section, how many notifications were created last week?
There was 84 created, and 10 of them was follow-on work.
Okay, excellent. Almost, I'm a little bit concerned because it tells me other people are picking up our defects and not the artisans. Please, can you push with the artisans to get us more follow-on work from inspections, please?
Okay.
Okay, if I look at the defect list as well, almost the iron building, the tank farm, bay 2, 3, 4, VRP and utility, basically the whole plant, I've got 3 defects on the defect list for the whole plant. You know, that's a big concern. And Buta, there's a defect here from May that we still don't have a works order number for. Why is that?
Still waiting for the job initiation form
From the artisans?
from the artisan.
Okay, and that section is whose section? Iron building, Amos? Whose section is that?
That is Carlos' section.
Will you today still almost ask Carlo to fill in a job initiation for us, I believe, for that? Okay, then Buta, can you show us what's the scheduled compliance and the scheduled work for almost a section for last week?
On the KPIs, scheduled work was 86%.
Okay, excellent, well done, Amos.
Thank you.
Scheduled completion, 84%.
Excellent, well done. Let's go have a look at the backlog that's waiting almost and the backlog ready. See what we can still schedule for next week. Okay, almost, let's see, he's got 2.5 hours, 16 and a half, yeah? So we are shorting 5 hours worth of work with this guy. Can you find me 5 hours worth of work that's on the backlog ready board, please? Five hours, and yeah, we've got another 5. Yeah, he's still busy with this.
Yeah, it's
So
continuously.
he sorted, no?
It's sorted.
Okay, it's important for production to attend the scheduling meeting as well, that they can have a very good view of what work is scheduled for the following week. It's important because should we come to Monday and I cannot have the drill or that portion of the plant, they need to have a clear understanding of the work that we are cancelling for that day if we cannot get access to the machine or to the plant. Very, very important. Most important is that once we walk away from our Thursday scheduling meeting, that the most critical work is scheduled for the following week, considering everything that is backlog ready to execute. The scheduler then needs to come and update Prometheus with this board's information and only this board to remove the work in Prometheus that Prometheus stated as required and insert the critical work that we've identified here, that the two of them match. By a Friday, the scheduler or the PMA can print the works orders as per this schedule and arrange the works orders per day, per artisan for the foreman ready for Monday. Just makes the foreman's life a lot easier when he walks in on Monday and he can speak to the board and hand out the job cards in the pack from top to bottom. It requires a bit of effort, ladies and gents, but it makes the foreman's life so much easier. Additionally, on a Friday, after the schedule has been locked on the Thursday, the storeman or the resource coordinator or the 2IC artisan for that section can actually draw the list of the materials that are required for these jobs, go to the stores and go and draw all the spares that are required for the following week. Then loads the bins or the cages in the workshop and stages the spares for each day according to the job cards that were set out for the day.
Good morning, team.
Morning.
Is everyone okay?
Yes, we're fine.
Let me quickly check what's on our board today. Okay. All right. Let's start with our safety topic for the day. Anyone with a good one?
Okay, thank you. Morning once again, team.
Morning.
I'm gonna give one. I'm gonna talk about working air ties today. Guys, ensure that all the pre-works, pre-checks are done correctly, and ensure that you've got a training. And a very important thing is that you are not allowed to work alone when we are working air ties as per procedure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ace, with the topic. Guys, please let's work safe. Let's make sure that we adhere to the safety tip for the day. Let's recap on what happened yesterday. Under the Sufi section, we had inspections, inspection on the cutting torch, and we have inspection on the cutting torch again, inspection on the cutting torch. Lisufi, any feedback on yesterday's task?
Yeah, all the job cuts have been completed. Yeah.
Okay. Are you confirming everything is done?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Stella, please make sure that these job cuts that Lisufi is talking about, they are all captured before you remove them on the board, okay?
Notifications.
Thank you very much. Under Harris, Harris is on leave. And then Scalo, you are still continuing with your job of yesterday. Lesijani as well. No, Mr. Lesijani, your job is done. Yesterday was the last day. The handrails, inspection on the handrails, measurement, is it done? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lesijani. Mohau still on training, and then Ace. Ace, your job for yesterday was to remove the grating. Is it done?
Yeah, that job, I managed to finish it because I had to work 2-3 hours overtime yesterday.
Okay.
As I know that tomorrow I'm doing the training, the retraining of induction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ace. Thank you very much. All right, let's make sure that we submit the job card, guys. Okay, Mr. Mremi is still on leave. Manas is still on leave. Okay. Today is Thursday, team. Today is Thursday. Let me start with you, Lisufi. What you are doing today, inspections on the handrails, another inspections on the cutting torch, another inspections on the handrail and the walkways. And I can see that you are overloaded, Lisufi, but I will go through and see who can assist us, but we need to finish everything that is on your schedule for today. Harris is still on leave, Tim, and then Scalo. Please make sure that you complete your strapping of the steel structure. Make sure that you finish this job today. Okay. Mr. Sejan, you also have inspections on the cutting torch. You also have inspections on the hand railing, inspections on the hand railing and the walkway, inspections on the cutting torch. And I can see that you are not overloaded. You still shot some few hours here. So in the meantime, what I will do, I will just quickly grab one job cut from Mr. Lisufi so that you can assist Lisufi. Make sure that you do this job as well. I think your plan will be fine for now. Maha, welcome back. You are back from training. You also have 3 inspections, inspection on the walkway and 191. Okay, make sure that you do this. 91 is, the platform is corroded. So it means you're going to replace this this platform. You will need an assistant. I will assist you with somebody to help you, okay? Is it okay, Mahau?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. And then Mr. Muremi, you've got inspections as well. You also have inspections on handrails, inspections on cutting torch. So you can see that Mahau is overloaded. So let's also assist Mahau with one cut. I will take this one, inspections on the handrail. Mr. Muremi, I will plug it in your section so that you can also help Mahau here. Okay. I think we all fine with the plan for today. Is there any quick question here on the plan? Anyone with a concern on the plan?
No. I think everyone is covered.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Back to our agenda point. Let's talk about the breakdowns. Was there any breakdown yesterday?
No breakdown.
No breakdown. Good. It means our section is running perfectly. All right, Stella just gave us some notifications here, open notifications. Let me quickly go through them. I can see Lisufi under your section. At 4:30, pump 03, you do have a cut. There's a cut here. Please go and check the cut. Remember, cuts are very critical. Go and check this open cut for us. And under Mr. Muremi, I can see also you do have there's a handrail at 203 area. Please make sure that you check this handrail for me. And then Mahau, oh, you do have an agent work as well. I see they're saying there's a breakdown here on the cooling water line at 1216 reactor 4. Please go and check this one as well. Okay, guys, here are the notifications. Go and check. Make sure that you go and inspect and you bring feedback. Remember, I need to approve. I need to approve this within 24 hours. Make sure that you use this job initiation form, guys. Put everything here that is needed, your spares. If you need other discipline to assist you, like the fitters or the electricians, please indicate here so that Buddha can be able to assist us. All of you, do you have this notification, this job initiation form?
Yes, we do have.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Okay, so you fill it and you bring it to me so that I can sign and give it to Buddha. Yeah, is there any question on the plan? Let me start with you, Ace. Anything from you?
Nothing from me.
Nothing. You, Mr. Lesejani? Lisufi? Anything? Mahau? Stella? Anything from you? Please make sure that all the job cuts for yesterday are captured and please remove what is on the board, okay? That are completed. Thank you very much. Team, let's have a safe working day. Any challenge, please report. Come back and report to me. Thank you very much. Let's have a fantastic day. Thank you.
Thank you.